Cool. So, we have the best movies of 2025. Yay, good things do happen sometimes or whatever. So, as previously stated, I rate everything on my letterbox, half a star to 5 stars from, I keep always forgetting the thing. So, for worst of, I did anything that was half a star to 1.5 star. Here, for best of, anything I rated 4 to 5 stars. Everything in the middle is just kind of, whatever. So, kind of like with worst of, I also just have 3 categories. So, we have horror, of course, sci-fi. This is sounding familiar. And then the third one, literally, I just labeled as other/biopic. Let's do horror first, since we're talking about good movies. Yeah. So horror, I have The Monkey, Presence, Ugly Stepsister, Sinners, Bring Her Back, Tight, and Frankenstein. I was about to say, did you see that? I know, yeah. You saw Sinners and Frankenstein, right? Well, obviously you saw Sinners, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start. So with The Monkey, that one is based on the Stephen King story, the one where, like, you the monkey with the
Oh,
thing. Yeah. Where this one
that horrific toy.
yeah, I think this one this one, I think it's the drumming one. It doesn't matter. It's still like a monkey, like, and the movie is like, it's, kind of like crazy over exaggerating horror kind of stuff, because when something happens, it's like when, like, the mom in the movie, like, she screams and all of a sudden just blood shoots out of, like, like, ah! Kind of stuff, where it's like, oh, that's a little extra. And the movie, like, kind of, like, let you know, like, okay, this is the direction it's going, because, like, in the beginning, what's his name, Adam Scott, from, like, Parks and Rec and Severance, he's in it. He has, like, a flamethrower. He's like, ah, like, gonna kill the monkey. So it's like, okay, it's spooky, and it's kind of campy, dark horror, kind of like dark humor, where he's just like, ah, and you're like, okay, I know where this movie is going. I feel like, because the concept is kind of silly, like, oh, the monkey does this and then bad things happen, I feel like if it was played, like, straight, like, let's say, like, A24 style, you know what I mean? Then it's kind of like, you get what I mean? I feel like if it was played straight like that, it'd be like, all right, like, movie, you would feel like, okay, you're taking it too seriously, like, this is a monkey doing this. The fact that it kind of understood it was ridiculous and kind of went that way, I was like, all right, because I know a lot of people, like, this movie was kind of a little, like, polarizing, because some people, like, really liked it, and other people were like, oh, it's so stupid and da-da-da, and, like, it would have kind of, like, deaths would happen, people were like, and it's like, you kind of knew that's kind of where it was going, but I get it. Some people don't like things that make them laugh.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I like that Adam Scott is always like just the guy you need to hire when you just want someone who is absolutely forgettable, but
Mm-hmm.
it, like, actually you can trust them to have comedic timing. He just looks like the everyday man that you forget about on the train.
Right, yeah. I remember when I watched Madam Web, and he's there as he played Uncle Ben.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't watch this movie.
Madam Web. Anyway, so yeah, that was the monkey. Next is uh presence, but not like presence, but like I sense a presence, you know? And
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
a kind of, it's silly to say haunted house. It's a ghost, like, story movie that's actually, like, done really, really well. um One, it's the camera is the perspective of the ghost, which is very interesting.
Oh.
So the camera work is kind of weird, because it's like, because it's a ghost. So, like,
Oh.
so a lot of so also the movie is kind of done in, like, it does the one take thing, where the whole movie is one take. You get what I mean? And sometimes, like, there'll be, like, the glitch, and it'll be like 2 days later. You know what I mean? Because you're a ghost. Well, what's time, right? But you're literally in a house, and you're following characters, like, down the stairs, up the stairs, da da da, all that stuff. Beautiful kitchen. Lucy Liu's in it as the mom. It's really nice to see Lucy Liu.
Oh.
What's her name? Julia Fox is the realtor, the woman who dated Kanye
Oh.
right after Kim. Yeah. Um, it
Oh.
was great to see her with eyebrows. That was nice.
Oh, good for
Yeah,
her.
well, I mean, you have to play a realtor, so you kind of have to be a little normal looking, you know. Um,
Right. Yeah.
so and it just like there's a ghost in the house, and you just watch like the kids who are you know, that's boy and girl, they're teenagers and all that stuff, and them just kind of like being teenagers, you know, like the girl like, oh, she's got a boy over, and the boy's just like, oh, being angsty. And you know, like how the mom and dad are like, hey, you know, because their kids are teenagers, I don't understand what's wrong with them. But again, it's like you the audience, you're the ghost, so it'll just be like let's say like Lucy Liu is here, and then the camera is here, and it'll just be like it'll go around her, you know what I mean? And then like she'll sometimes, like when it goes around, and sometimes like a little bit of like wind picks up, and she'll be like, you know, and it's like, oh, I love it, yeah. And then the again, the movie's like very interesting. You're kind of just like in a sense vibing and just following like this family and all that stuff. But then sometimes like the ghost tries to like really interact, not just kind of like just witnessing stuff, but really try to like intervene. That's the word. Because something will happen, and you just see like the screen goes, you know, the light kind of flickers, and then someone will be like, huh, what? And you're like, oh shit, like, ooh, ooh, you know, and like I was all excited. I was like, ooh, I was like, it's also kind of like, do something. Also, you as the audience, you're like, do something, and it's like the ghost kind of feels your vibe, and it's like trying to like help, and I'm like, yes, I love it, and it's like it's so good. And then like at the end of the movie, it reveals who the ghost was the whole time, and you're like, oh, I mean, I kind of figured it out probably a little bit halfway, almost towards like almost third act. I kind of figured out who the ghost was, but I mean, it's also because I watched so many movies. But it was still like very good when the reveal happened, and I was like, ah. Also, fun fact: I live near the house that the movie was filmed in. Yeah. Not like
Oh.
down the block. I don't have money like that. But one of
Oh.
the rich neighborhoods that, you know, when you go like 30 to 40 minutes away from here, it's like, "Oh,
Right.
look at these houses. Look at these houses." Yeah, the houses that people probably think I actually live in. When they're like, "Oh, you live. Oh, so you got money." Yeah, it's like, "No, no, no." And
If you
it was a really good movie. I was actually very
Mhm.
surprised by it, because
Oh.
I was like, because I heard people kind of talk about it, and it was like not. I heard people talking about it, but not a lot, so I wasn't too sure about it. And it was also, I think it was one of those like this time of year releases where a lot of times they dump a lot of movies, so it's hit or miss. It could either be like, oh, it's a February horror, or you're like, wow,
Yeah.
okay, you know.
If you were a ghost, how would you fuck with the people who had moved into your house?
I don't know, cause like not to be all like strange sounds always happen in this house, but like if it's too windy, like that's what it sounds like, you know. So it just
Mhm.
on its own, if it's a like the other day, what was it,
Okay.
like Sunday or something, when it was like Sunday? Yeah, I think it was Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, when it was really windy. Like this shit was like rattling, you know. I'm like, things already sound weird. I'll
Mhm.
just add to it. I'll just put a beat into it. You know, do some Bad Bunny. You know.
So you'd be modern day Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, I got the green hair already. It's
Yeah.
fine. I got the dark circles of green hair. I'm halfway there. You
Y-
know, I'm dead inside. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not trying to marry a child, but
uh,
give it time.
the next movie ooh, is Ugly Stepsister, and I think fuck what country. This is a Norwegian movie. Okay, I was like, I knew it was European. It's Scandinavian, so it's a Norwegian one, and so it's from the perspective of the ugly stepsister. Duh, hence the name. And it's, you know, a little bit like a little bit like the original, I guess you would say, Cinderella one. You know, the non-Disney-fied one. This one, I think it's just the one sister, and then the girl who's supposed to be Cinderella, and then the stepmom kind of thing. And so it's from the perspective of the stepsister. And you know, the actress, she's fine. She's not ugly. You know, in all these, they're never like ugly, but they're just not like, you know. Anyway, and so the mom is trying to get that daughter, the ugly stepsister, zhuzhed up enough for the ball, right? So you see them, and this is, mind you, this is like freaking, like, was it medieval times or whatever shit. So they're doing like rhinoplasty, like, they're holding the thing and boom, and she's like, ah. They're like actually like stitching like lashes to her lower lash line. You know what I mean? Like, dude, yeah, like this movie goes. I know you're squirming. I was like, yeah, they're doing it. Yeah, they like give her like this. Oh, here's this thing. Take this, and then she takes it. It's a tapeworm. You gotta lose some weight, honey. Like all this stuff to like perfect her to be all this, and that, and of course, the story. She goes to the ball, and then like, and all that stuff, and then like chaos ensues because obviously Cinderella does show up there and all that stuff, and then just like the old story, there's the whole like cutting the foot so she fits into the shoe thing, and they go in on that. This it's again, it's like the story, it's gonna go there, but just how they did like the costuming, the makeup, all the fucked upness of being like, yeah, we're gonna and you're like, ah. She wears like this nose thing to like keep her all whatever, like crazy. Yeah, you're disgusted. I was very excited watching this movie.
Okay. I will probably never watch this.
So after that is Sinners. We've talked a lot about Sinners. I hope it wins so many Academy Awards. So many. It is the most.
Yes.
It is the most nominated because it's at like 16. I think Return of the King had like 13 or something, and they did a clean sweep. This year there's a lot of good movies. I know. This year there's a lot of good movies nominated, and of course there's one right at the end of this horror one that I also want to win. I always say whenever a lot of good movies like are nominated, I always say people of color get all the people of color their awards. And then yeah, I'm always like, it's like that one year where I said Parasite for everything and then Roger Deakins because I was just like, he deserves his awards. But yeah, like it's just like Sinners and Frankenstein, both of them just win as many awards. They can alternate who wins. I don't care as long as they're the ones who win. I don't give a shit. But yeah, I need to get a
What do you think?
physical copy of it. Go on. Sorry.
I was going to ask you, I'm sure you're going to have a lot to say about Frankenstein. What do you think is personally the biggest strengths for Sinners as opposed to Frankenstein and the other films?
I don't know because it's hard because both of their makeup effects was really good because it's like the both makeup effects are great. Both costuming is I was about to say obscene, but I mean it in like a positive way. Like fuck, because it's like, god damn it, I gotta up my game. I don't have a team, but in my mind, I'm 5 people working on things. Both costumes are great because like again, everything in Frankenstein. Again, that's a positive screen. Same thing with freaking Sinners. Um, Granted, I think probably score will probably go to Sinners more, which is fine because that guy's done so much stuff with Ryan Coogler anyway, which I'm not upset about. Yeah, because I feel like, well, Ryan Coogler will probably get like writing because obviously Frankenstein is not an original thing. So if he gets like original screenplay, that'd be great. You know, um, directing again, either or again, that's fine. Best picture, either or, I'm fine. You
Right.
know, um, I feel like impact wise, obviously if Sinners won Best Picture, it would be like Moonlight, you know.
Yeah.
Oh wait, this, oh god,
Personally,
both
I
cinematography is just kill me.
yeah.
I know.
I we'll talk more about Frankenstein once we get to
Right,
Frankenstein.
right.
I think the biggest strength for Sinners was maybe their editing and
Mm,
the
mm,
full story wrap up.
mm,
There was a little bit I like Guillermo del Toro a lot for various reasons. I
mm-hmm,
don't think he's quite as succinct
mm.
as Coogler is when it comes to telling a story.
I
Personally,
probably because he's so about like everything is so layered for him that like it you end up having to
mm,
do multiple sittings to like notice like every fine detail, kind of like a Edgar Wright movie. where you notice like, oh, the music and the
Yeah.
this and the background. It's so, but I mean, on one hand, it's good for rewatchability to be that person, but on the same time, I get what you mean,
Mm.
where you're like, oh, but yeah, like what was, again, we'll talk more when it comes to Frankenstein, but yeah, like I totally get what you mean, because yeah, the Sinners movie, like again, because probably because Sinners is original, so you've never seen that before. Because whereas Frankenstein, you knew where it was going, like you
Mm.
knew where it was going. You're just kind of along
Mm.
for the ride type of thing. Yeah, with
Yeah.
Sinners, that was just amazing. The bar scene where they kind of like went through.
Right.
I mean, we said this before, but like the decades and all that stuff. Because then when like the
Yeah.
the Chinese opera lady is like doing all the dancing, and then the dude is like electric guitar. I was like, fuck yeah,
Mm.
come on, keep going, you know? And it just
Yeah.
like, it
Yeah.
just kept escalating, and I thought that was great. And I love the learning that the Irish actor actually knew how to do river dancing, and he just needed to get like a refresher.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I didn't know if that was him because it part of me was thinking like, wow, they really make sure to focus on someone's feet.
Hmm.
I respect whoever what whose ever feet that was.
Yeah, because I think
And I don't think we saw a full shot of him doing it.
a
Did we?
little bit, but also the movie was at night, so you couldn't really like see it. But I've seen some like behind the
Right.
scenes videos of him like in the studio, like with the instructor doing the dance and all that stuff. So he's doing like those crazy high kicks
Oh.
that they do. Yeah. Because I remember it was like in the
Yeah.
interview where someone was like, "Oh, like was it hard to learn the river dance?" He's like, "Oh, actually, he's like I knew that beforehand. I just had to be given the choreography, da da da." And they were like, "Well, did you?" It was like, "Did Ryan know you knew that previous to put it?" He was like, "I don't know, probably." He's like, "Maybe, maybe not." He's like, "But it was one of those kind of like not convenience, but just like a happenstance where they're like, okay, an Irish actor doing an Irish thing, and then we're gonna do the Irish jig, and him actually knowing the fucking thing. So really, when he was like given the choreography for it, it wasn't just like, how do my limbs work? Wait, I can't use my arms, you know. So the next movie is called Bring Her Back, and that's the I guess the second like official movie from the guys who did Talk to Me, the Australian YouTube guys. Um, and this one was like, this movie was fucked up, but I knew it was gonna be fucked up because those boys like that's like their work. Um, and so this one is about like two siblings. The sister is blind, the brother is not. They also this I don't know if they I forgot if they're adopted. I forgot that part. But the sister is like a little Asian girl who's blind, and she's actually blind. The girl's actually like she's never had acting before, and she just like auditioned for this. It was like a again like kind of like a random happenstance. Like bam, got you. And the brother's like this white boy. Again, they're Australian because it's the Rocka Rocka boys are Australian, and so their dad dies, and then this woman adopts them, and it's the woman Sally something. She was in Shape of Water. She was the main lady in Shape of Water, and Paddington as well.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she adopts them. Oh, she is not a kind
Mm.
woman. She is like bad foster parent type of shit, you know. And then there's a little boy that she had also fostered or adopted, and that little boy is just kind of like all the time, like very non-verbal. You're like, I don't know, and he like lashes out, and you're like, okay, maybe this kid, has some form of autism, like, or maybe it's like an abuse response, you know what I mean? Because it's a adopted kid, so you don't know. So you're like, okay, so I don't want to give spoilers, but also you don't really watch like this kind of scary movie because it does get like gory. So I'll just tell you. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so it's like so pretty much the foster parent adoptive mom, it was trying to um she pretty much like did some kind of like she did some like fucking like cult shit to kind of like because the movie's called Bring Her Back because she's trying to bring back her dead daughter, and so that's why she adopted the blind girl. Yeah, so you're getting exactly where I'm going. She's trying to bring back the daughter into the blind girl. And the reason why the little boy is like all that stuff is because he's literally possessed. He's literally possessed. And that's why every so often she has to like soothe him, and because it's just like like, oh, whatever. I'm doing like a cross on my forehead, but pretty much being like, soothe him. So he's like keep the demon at bay, kind of stuff. There's like one scene where the little boy, like, let's say this is a kitchen counter, he like bites the kitchen counter and like rips a piece off the kitchen counter. He like grabs glass and he's like chewing on glass. Blood, just oh my god. And that little boy actor is so good because like I also need to buy a copy of that. But I've seen like a little bit of videos like online of him like behind the scenes because them like the effects people being like, oh yeah, just bite it. They're kind of like, oh, just do this, and it just comes off. He goes, okay, and they're like, right? He goes, okay. Just seeing him normal because it's like he did such a good job, like possessed and all that stuff. That part of me was like, maybe I'm at that age where I should be having kids on my own, but maybe I'm at the age where part of me was like, I hope they're not hurting this kid. I'm actually caring about a kid, dude. What the fuck? Anyway, it's because I'm getting old. Anyway, but like it just felt like because his acting was so good, you really were like, is this kid actually getting abused? But he was fine. Like, I saw the behind the scenes stuff. He was having a laugh. He was having a laugh. Like he literally was like a silly kid, like covered in blood. They're like, how you doing? He's like, it's a little sticky. It's okay, you know. But like when they hit action, he's like, "Rah!" And you're like, holy fuck. If this kid keeps it up and doesn't like, you know, develop a drug problem, he would be going places. So yeah, it's pretty much just like all that happening. The brother ends up dead, you know, pretty much all that stuff. And it's like it. The movie it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I fucking love it, and I'm so happy that these guys, the Talk to Me boys, the Rocket Boys, I'm so happy that like they got into the movie stuff and they're like giving them money. They're like, take the money, because I think they're doing a sequel to Talk to Me as Talk to, you know, Me. I'm like, that's fine, man. Just keep making your fucked up movies. I knew you boys had potential. Keep going, you know. Yeah, I was like, it was just so crazy. Like just watching, I'm like, where's this going? And then it was like the excuse me. I guess you would say the twist at the end when you learn that like, oh, the boy's actually possessed. Because I think like once the woman ends up dying because they end up like killing her and all that stuff. Because I forgot, it's been a while. I think the girl like I think she like goes into the pool or like she was able to like lure the woman in, and then mind you, the woman like kept her dead daughter in like a fridge or a freezer or something, and like has her floating in the pool because then you know like the exchange of you know that whole thing, and so and, like, I think like it ended up where like the woman's like clutching her dead daughter and she's dead or something, but like the movie ends and the little boy is no longer possessed, and that's like when watching the movie I felt better, like okay, this kid is fine, because he was just like the authorities find him, and mind you, that little boy was a missing kid in the town, and like yeah, so he wasn't adopted. Like the woman just lied to these adopted kids that there was a like you know that she just kidnapped him because he was trying to find like a vessel to do crazy. I know it's like the movie is like you should tell like Johnson to watch it so he can then tell you. You know what I mean? Or you could like walk by and be like, is it safe? Is it safe? You know? It's so good. I was like, fuck
Is it
yeah.
good? Is it is it funny yet?
Yeah. Am I gonna cry? I'm gonna cry, aren't I? Okay, yeah.
Uh,
I don't think. Again, so the next is called Tight, and this was a thing called like Access Horror Shorts and all this stuff. Shutter had it, and it was just like an hour and a half of like, you know, like different shorts from like anything ranging from 5 minutes to like 20 minutes and all that stuff. And this short I really liked because it was like a woman, you know, she just gave birth to her kid, and then, you know, she had given birth, there's a baby, and then the husband's kind of like, come on, honey, give me a little something, something. She's like, I just had a kid, fuck off, right? Well, once she was feeling better, they end up having sex again, and it's like painful for her, unenjoyable. So of course she's just like, what the hell is wrong with me? She's like, he's like, I know I just had a baby, but damn, like, right? Well, turns out she went to the doctor. Turns out that, like, have you ever heard of the husband stitch?
oh my god, yeah.
Okay, I was like waiting, like,
Really?
Yeah, so turns out, they gave a little extra. And so, but turns out with a lot of people who get the extra stitch, they no longer feel pleasure when having sex. It's just painful. Um, so, and that's what's awful called the husband stitch, because they have to. Oh, do you want it to be a little tighter for you? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Anyway, so when she found out that like she's in pain because she decided to have a kid with him, and then he's just wanting again more sex and not giving a fuck about the kid. So again, it's a short. The movie it goes by real quick, and so during her trying to figure out why she's not, getting off or why she's in pain, she starts getting like horny for weird things. So I think she was like I think they just moved to a new place or something, or they're packing to go to a new place, and she has like the roll of shrink wrap, so she'll like wrap things in that and then just touch it and like, and she's like and I'm like, oh, okay girl, okay, you right.
All right.
So once she found out about it,
Who am I to judge?
right, like girl, do you? Once she found out, husband comes home, she's in like sexy lingerie. He's like, oh shit, right? And then she goes, oh yeah, lay down. She starts wrapping him around like a bench or something. And then he's like, oh yeah, honey, yeah. And he's like, yeah. He goes, oh, okay, honey, it's a little, okay, it's a little tight. It's a little, and she keeps wrapping him and wrapping and wrapping him on this bench until she wraps over his mouth, like, and then he's like, oh, like that, and then you see her like pick up the baby and leave, and that's the end of the short. And I was like, good for her. I think I even wrote that in my letterbox. I literally wrote good for her. Like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope for her sake, if she is like still looking for a sexual partner, turns out she's bisexual or just meets a better human.
For real. Yeah, because like the also cool thing about the access horror thing was most of it I think is like women led or like queer, I mean, like non-cis het men. So a lot of the shorts were like, I mean, some of them were kind of hokey. And the last one, we're gonna talk about Frankenstein. Let's talk about Frankenstein, okay? Let's fucking talk about Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Oh my god. First of all, bitch. Second of all, Oscar Isaac, yes. Mia Goth playing the mom and the love interest. Hello, Sigmund Freud. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was funny because I remember looking.
Drinking the milk.
Dude, that was such Homelander shit with the titty milk. Like, I mean, it was very like on the nose, but there were still some people who didn't get it. Cause I remember some people were like, I remember I saw someone say, why did they have Mia Goth play the mom and Elizabeth? Why didn't you just hire another actress? And it's like, bro, because the whole point. You're missing the point. Bro was also drinking a lot of milk. God, again, it's the thing where it's like, yeah, Guillermo del Toro puts so many fucking metaphors and similes. Fucking dumbass people are just like, I don't know, the curtains are blue because they're blue. Like, like they don't realize it's like the part where, first of all, I love that Guillermo del Toro was like, in this movie, a coffin is gonna serve cunt. First of all, when that coffin showed up, I went, bitch! I was like, oh my god. Second of all, the mom had the roses around her head, and then later in the movie, Elizabeth had the bonnet, and it looked like she had roses around her head. Like, come on, people! Come on. Fucking come on, And then, when she was in her wedding dress, she had like all those bandages on her arm, like the monster, like the bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Ah! Like, again, this is where I have my moments where I go, because where people are just like, I don't know, like, trying to do the whole, like, Guillermo del Toro's weird because he made a movie about fucking a fish, and it's like, but it's about loving something that's all, fuck you! Like, I'm there, like, I'm Pepe Silving, like, monster fucking, and, like, weird incest stuff, where, yes, it's supposed to be uncomfortable. Like, when people like said they didn't like Crimson Peak because they're like, whoa, what's up with the incest? It's like, it's not for you to be like, ooh, incest. It's supposed to be, oh, it's like, bitch. Like
There's
gothic.
quite a difference between
Oh my god, I know.
kink and
I know, because there's, oh my god, because there's directors where you see something and you go, oh, I'm learning a lot about this person, and I'm learning a lot about their kinks. You know, like you watch a Tarantino movie, you see all the feet. You watch there's some movie and there was just like the way how the director shot this girl like eating. I was like, oh, he has a weird obsession with like her mouth and how she eats. It was just, I was like, ooh, no. But Guillermo del Toro, you know, he's like, yes, we're gonna fuck a monster. First of all, right? He is ultimate monster fucker, and then he's also saying, "Fuck yeah, bitch." You know what's the fuck yeah, bitch? Oh, you'll know. You'll have those moments. You know, and it's also serving cunt, because you know, first of all, Oscar Isaac is always serving cunt just because he is a good bitch. And then second of all, I love that he had him play Victor Frankenstein like a rock star. Like he's like, yes, I'm doing this, you know. Like he's like, I'm a rock star.
with the red gloves.
Yes, bitch. Also, God, this man loves like color story where he's like he's
Yeah.
got red gloves, and then the monster's got the thing, and like the light tubes go from red to green, you know, and then like Elizabeth's dress is green, and like, oh, like only was it Victor's colors are red because the mom had that long ass ooh bitch. Yeah, when she's standing there and then
Yeah.
like that went back, I was like, oh my god, I need that's my outfit, you know. Yeah, it's like the red matching this. Elizabeth is in like greens and blues, like earthy tones, and when she had the little, like it's a hint of red, maybe some purple, like 'cause she's in like the warmer, loving colors. You know, obviously the monster is very cold, white, da da da. You know what I mean? Like it's like yes, let's fucking do it. You know, and then people are just like, I don't get it. Or like fucking people complaining. They're like, oh yeah, the only reason why people think the Frankenstein's monster is hot because he's tall and da da da. And it's like, you shut your whore mouth. First of all, in the monster fucking world, you gotta be at least 7 foot. So first of all, second of all, you mad? You fucking mad? You know? And mind you, I didn't give a
Well,
fuck about
it's
Jacob
also like
Elordi beforehand. I don't care. Like
Mhm.
his when he does interviews, he's like very weird. He also doesn't know how to dial things back. Because I remember I watched his Hot Ones because I was trying to understand why people liked him so much, and he would literally eat a wing and then, no joke, after every wing go like this, like lick it like really hard, not like a. He would literally go each one, and I'm like, bro. First of all, that's you're okay. I feel like I'm seeing fetish content. And then
ew.
and I've seen other like interviews where he's just like he's there, he has like a lollipop, and he'll be like, and I don't think he's doing that on purpose to be like I'm being sexy or like look at my mouth. I think he's just that's just who he is, and I don't think he's aware that he's just like there's weird sexual undertones with things he does, and it just comes off like that. You know what I mean? Um, that aside, I think he did great
Yeah,
as the
I
monster. Yeah.
yeah. I it's also the idea of saying like, "Oh, you only find him attractive because he has kind eyes."
Right.
Like
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
find people complaining about like, "You only find him attractive because he's incredibly tall, he's strong, but he's not actually being aggressive towards you, so you don't feel intimidated, and that maybe he cares about your feelings. You only like him for those reasons."
Right. They're like, oh, he's
Hmm.
nice and he's caring and you know like oh my god, it's so I know it's so silly.
It's like you don't even care that he's scarred.
And it's
You only like him as a person.
I think I made the joke being like, oh wow, a strong man who doesn't speak often. God. Sign me up, you know?
Yeah.
A man who
Yeah.
doesn't speak much. Love
I
it.
also
Hmm.
I do like cuz like this I love that Guillermo del Toro is obviously such a fan of the movies and the book cuz in
Mm.
the book they do describe him as like having an otherworldly beauty when he's created. It's just
Right.
it's kind of uncanny valley or there's something a little bit off and you realize this is a bunch of dead guys. Or it's Victor realizing like, "Oh no, consequences for my actions."
Right,
Like it's
right.
a little unclear why he why exactly he freaks out. He's just a little whiny child the entire time, as opposed to Oscar Isaac, who's much more brooding and vengeful. And it's just like, I like brooding and vengeful more than here's a child who just should not have been going to school and should not keep getting away with it. Oh, he got away with it again. Oh no.
I know, and it's so funny.
Oh no.
It's so funny because I saw people like get mad at the movie and be like, "Oh, I don't like this portrayal of Victor Frankenstein. It's not like the book." And it's like it's better than the one in the book. The one in the book is a little bitch, you know? Like
Exactly.
and it's like, but there's a reason why Guillermo made him the way like this. It makes more sense. There's also like a reason why they made the brother older than a little kid, you know, because then there's the whole, okay, the brother is older and the brother is getting Elizabeth. Like no matter what, he is getting Elizabeth. Little brother is getting married to Elizabeth. You're pining for her because she reminds you of your mother. Like again, that whole thing, and then she's and she like you think she likes you because she's being nice to you, like the whole like I think the bartender likes me type of thing again, but she doesn't like you, bro. She likes your little bro. And again, you're also mad because her attention isn't fully given to you. Her attention is also given to your monster, but she's just being kind to it because how dare she have a heart? And even remember, like, when she was like, "Why do you have him chained up?" He's like, "Oh, he doesn't." He's like, doing like this to him and being so like awful towards him. And it's like, yeah, because in a way, he is in a way it's like he is acting like the monster is himself, because it's like that he's like yelling at himself at the monster, so of course he's gonna chain it up and be like fuck you, because that's how he feels about himself, whereas Elizabeth is like, no, like, okay, yes, crazy that you dead pieces of a dude and he's a guy now, but still she's like, it's obvious like he feels and all that stuff. And that's why even like that scene where he just like gives her a leaf and she's like, oh my god, for me? And he's like, yeah, because like what did Victor give him? Chains, shackles him, you know and then like she's being kind to him, so of course he kind of falls for her, but you can't blame the monster, because again, you either have Victor who's just like, and then you have someone being kind. Of course he's like, oh wait, I want more of that's nice, and then at the end where he's like, he didn't say I need Elizabeth, he just wanted to like see Elizabeth, but then he said like, give me a wife, and he's like, no, and it's like, exactly, dude, like, because he knows that like Elizabeth obviously can't live forever like him, so he wouldn't do that. And also, he again, the monster is like, oh, that you got your man. The monster knew well enough, you got your man. I'm just here to say hello and see you on your wedding day, but I don't want the other people to freak out because I look like this. But fucking Victor's like, no, me. But he's still, in a sense, he still has that whininess, but it's Oscar Isaac, so you gotta forgive it a little, just a little, you know.
The one scene where I kind of make jokes in when watching the movie is, you know how the brother getting married, he's like instructing people to keep throwing flower petals no matter what, and like
Right,
this is
right,
how to do it for like the Victorian theater of it all.
right, right, right.
The when the creature is like bringing Elizabeth down the stairs, there's still flowers falling. So I wonder if the guys there are just like, uh, no one told us to stop.
Do I keep doing this? I know, and it was so beautiful too, with the flowers falling, and she's just like dead, and he's carrying her. I'm like, ah! It's just me watching it, be like, ah! But of course,
I think the long since the yeah.
no, what you're saying? I was just
Oh, I
screaming.
was gonna say just
Oh my
oh,
eyes.
I think that the long shots, because when you watch, comparing it to Sinners again,
Right.
Sinners, it has to be so much like not choppy, but each
Oh
shot
yeah.
has to be so quick because they're covering so many characters, so many
Yes.
stories, so
Yes.
much history, so much current event.
Yes.
It has to move really quickly, as opposed to Frankenstein, which I think its strength is that it only focuses on four characters. There's others in the background, but you get to have those long sweeping shots
Oh, I
where
know.
there's
The
slow-mo, but it's like
scenery.
effectively used.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
scenery,
You
the
get to
the
focus on everything.
sets. I know. Well, that's another thing. It's because like he also he has in Guillermo, where it's like he's like, no, we're gonna build fucking sets. Where everything's gonna be physical. He's like, none of this fucking shit. He's like, yes, we'll have, you know, like visual effects, but it's you know, he without saying it, he pretty much was like, it's not gonna be a Marvel movie, you know. And you can tell because it's like the set of like the lab. It's you feel it. You're watching. You're like, I know he doesn't just go 2 more feet and can't go further because it's a sheet. You know, like you feel it. Like even like the vast field and all that shit. You're like, oh, this is like a place. Da, 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 you know, and it's like so crazy to be like, can we go up to an actual place and film? You know,
Yeah.
or build a
With
thing.
a Medusa carving on the wall.
Bitch. Oh God, is that me? You know, yeah, and it's goddamn. I know it's so good. Like both movies are so good. That's why I was like, they both. I was like, I don't care. Just win them. Both of you win. Just both of you win. I wish you could both win. Like I literally I feel like that person. I'm like I wish you could both win. But yeah, oh my God, they both. I mean, really, they both need to win. Like, I don't care about the other movies. Both of those are just, keep winning, keep winning. Yeah, they better not pull those.
It's also a very Latin movie, so it's still a person of it's
Oh,
like still a
totally.
POC movie. So
Totally, because people were like completely shocked to find out that freaking Mia Goth is fuck.
Brazilian.
I think Brazilian. Yeah. I think some sort of thing. Yeah, because it's the same thing when people found out that Anya Taylor Joy is Argentinian. You know, but it's like it's like that. Yeah, like I mean, yeah, Jacob Elordi. I mean, he's just really tall and ganglish. He's Australian. But yeah, you have Oscar Isaac.
That's who they could find.
Right. That's who they can find. You're big. I think I think they said when they did the full body makeup, it was like 8 to 9 hours. Fuck, man.
Makes sense.
I know, and he said that he, as in the actor Jacob Elordi, he said that like because there was so much time, he took that time to kind of just like slowly like kind of like I don't know if dehumanize is the right word, but kind of slowly like his humanity went away and he just kind of became like the creature. Like he just kind of was like able to like slowly get into this headspace of like, oh, I'm not Jacob, da da da. He's just like he's just kind of like they're like Victor, just being the thing. I'm like, oh, so crazy. I think there's a picture. I have to find it. I'll send it to you later. It's a picture of like I think he had his dog on the set. So it's a really cute picture of like I think it's like a golden retriever or something, and then like like the Frankenstein's monster is like hugging it, and I'm like, but also that kind of makes sense because Frankenstein's monster would love a dog, and especially that kind of dog.
Yeah.
They'd be besties. I also did like in Frankenstein.
If I was Victor, I would have made him a dog.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you want a companion? Dog.
Exactly.
Not a cat. That's gonna kill a lot of things.
And you.
Dog.
Yeah. I also did like that it wasn't like something just constrained to just the lab, or just like in like the old like Universal picture where like, oh, the monster is out in the street and everyone's like, pitchforks, what is that? Whereas this one, like, okay, he runs away, but even though he ran away, he wasn't just like in the street like, what up everybody, naked, you know what I mean? Like he knew to like kind of like go cover, and then he was like on that farm and being like, what was it, like the spirit of nature or whatever they end up calling him, like helping out the family, and then like learning how to speak and all that stuff from like the family. And it was great that the old man and the kid weren't just like freak, like I mean, also with Guillermo del Toro in his movies, you're never like, there's always one asshole, but everyone else is always kind to the monster. There's always a Michael Shannon somewhere. You know what I mean? And it's like everyone else is like, all right, I get it. Yeah, you cool, man. Snackages. And then there's always one person being like, yeah, and everyone's like, bro, chill. You built our fence. Our sheep aren't running away. You're weird, And I do like that. I mainly like that part where like Guillermo del Toro was always like, no, monsters are our friends. Like they're real things, whereas like, and he's always like, but the real monsters are white people. he's always like, white Anglo-Saxons. I also hate fascism, and it's like, tell me more, Guillermo. Yeah, tell me more. So second category is sci-fi. We have Mickey 17, Superman, Predator. What? God, fuck. What's it called? It's. Hold on, let me look at the full title. I just wrote Predator.
Badlands?
Yes, Predator, Badlands, and Begonia. What have you seen?
I saw Superman.
I mean, that's great. So, first
Yeah.
off, Mickey 17, it's the Bong Joon-ho sci-fi movie with Robert Pattinson, and there's like a bunch of Robert Pattinsons in it. And the movie's kind of silly, and it like the story kind of like falls off kind of easy, but I just really enjoyed multiple Robert Pattinsons in like a weird American accent, just kind of being like, I'm a throwaway guy. All right, you know what I mean? Where he's like, yeah, they just make clones of me because and it's just him being like working. Oh, like goes underneath like a snow machine and dies. He's like, oh damn, new Robert Pattinson comes out. Okay, just like him doing that. And at one point, there's two of him, and like his love interest girlfriend in it. She was like, she looked at it and said, being like, why is there two of you? She took the opportunity and went, oh, there's two of you. Come to the bedroom. I was like, girl, I get it. All right? I get it. I'm not mad at you for that. All right? You saw two of your man and you said, oh, we doing this. I get it. I'm not mad at her for that. So it wasn't bad. I guess a lot of people, not myself, because I'm not stupid. I think a lot of other people, in their minds, they hyped it up a lot. Because obviously the dude's previous movie was Parasite. So I get that it's kind of like when Us came out and people were thinking like it was going to be like as like crazy as Get Out. It's still really good, but like, where people don't understand that like when a filmmaker makes a new film, it's not everything's a sequel. You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, dude, it's its own thing. It's its own thing. Oh, but it's not like this. It's not supposed to be. You know. Yeah, so next is Superman. I mean, we all enjoyed Superman. That was great. This was probably, I was telling Paul this was probably the first time it was a portrayal of Superman that didn't feel like a Mary Sue. You know what I mean? Because like,
Okay, yeah.
because like, uh, my issue with how Superman is portrayed, and also why like a lot of Superman fanboys hate me, because also I'm Batman fan, is how he's like so infallible. It's like, no, he does make mistakes. Yeah, he's strong and all that shit, but he makes mistakes. People have this idea where Superman is like God or something, where like he just cannot, he never makes a mistake. He always does the right thing, which also was kind of funny when Man of Steel came out and people were still praising Superman. I'm like, do you see all this fucking destruction? It was like one of the things where like during was like Batman v Superman, where I kind of like the little bit where I did enjoy was that Batman being like, okay, who the fuck is this guy wrecking everything? He's like, I gotta go fucking talk to this guy. He can't be doing that. Because, like, let's see where, like, Affleck is, like, holding on to the kid, like, what the fuck is this? Because, like, buildings are coming down, and everyone's like, yeah, you killed the thing. It's like, hello? Half the city's leveled. That's fine, this guy helped. It's like, people are so, like, do you not? And Batman's like, do you not fucking see this shit? Yeah, I have the money to rebuild this in a second, but how many people have died? They're like, yeah, fuck off, dude. This guy's, you know what I mean? And this one, it was great where they were just like, oh, fuck Superman, because he intervened on the thing. And when he had that moment at Lois Lane, where he's like, because people were dying. Where he was like, come on. Like, people were dying. That's why I interfered. They're like, oh, but it's internet. He's like, I don't give a shit. People are dying. What the fuck? I'm like, yes. Like, yes, that's the do good stuff. Not goody two shoes, but like, he's gonna do good. And I'm like, yes, thank you. Finally. That's Superman. Oh my god. you know? And the
He
fact,
was a person
no,
as opposed to an idea.
thank you, exactly. Where he's like, hey,
Yeah.
he was getting obviously frustrated. Where even the whole like the super shit thing, where he was like, man, that's kind of mean. Whereas like before it was like nothing affects me, bing, 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 and it's like that stuff makes me just go, I don't give a shit. Where like me and like Superman fans are always butting heads because they're like, oh, Batman doesn't have superpowers, he's just rich, and I'm like, okay, all the money in the world, and the dude still and still doesn't pay for therapy. Like, what does that tell you? You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, I did like that. Lex Luthor was just like, I'm an awful tech CEO, and it's like, I see where you're going with this, James Gunn. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You just made him bitter, but in a way that wasn't just I'm somehow the villain that everyone should actually like, but doesn't because they have the label of evil.
Mm,
At least that's kind of the impression I got whenever I watched the cartoons was that
mm.
yeah, he was doing bad stuff, but he was like somehow more charming, somehow more interesting
Right.
than perfect Superman. As
Exactly.
opposed to this one where you can kind of see what his logic is, like as awful as it is and as xenophobic as it actually is, it's just like you show us our weakness. I don't like that. Like
Right.
as a human species. So I'm going to label you the bad guy. And
Right.
then he got tossed around by a dog, which is good.
Which was hilarious. That was another thing I was going to mention is I do like that it wasn't just Superman versus Lex Luthor type of movie that Mr. Terrific was in it. Obviously, you see Supergirl at the end.
Mhm.
Hawkgirl's in it. You know, Green Lantern. You know, I like that like they were there. Like there was like I don't want to say side characters, but there was other what do they call them, meta humans. There were other like
Mhm.
superheroes and all that stuff, but it wasn't like the movie didn't feel like it came to a halt to be like these guys, right? Because you know how like movies can totally do that. I also like that they went with the Guy Gardner Green Lantern because we've seen Hal Jordan, all that stuff, and I love that. I think Nathan Fillion, who plays him, I think he said he's like, no, we gotta keep the bowl cut. That's what it is in the comic. Let's do. I love that it kept with that. I also love that that yes, it's a superhero movie, but it it said fuck it, let's be a little crass. Like when Green Lantern was like he's it's like the was it the green like finger coming up to like boom
Yes.
boom, and the fact that Hawkgirl like had the guy and she goes bye bitch and just dropped him and it's like yes because she's like oh you would she's like Superman would it and he's like I'm not him. Woo! I love that and I love that
I
Mr.
thought you would enjoy that scene a lot.
Well, yeah, when the guy looks like Ben Gurion, like, oh my god, call me Gal Gadot the way I don't know how to act right now.
Who wrote that?
It's the top rated comment. Oh my god, call me Gal Gadot the way I don't know how to act right now. And then the the comment I liked, it says we live in a world where we get to see Dora the Explorer assassinate Netanyahu. Because that actress played Dora the Explorer in the live action movie.
That's Dorothy. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
good for her.
She's also what's her name in The Last of Us? What was Ellie's love interest?
Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I don't know her name.
And she had a crazy schedule. She would do like 2 weeks at The Last of Us, and then have to do like Superman, and then do Last of Us. Like she had to like, yeah,
Oh, dang. Okay.
dude. I love whoever the actor plays Mr. Terrific. He looks like the comic. Like he looks like the comic. It's so crazy how he looks exactly like the character in the comic. I also love how what was it when they got rid of Lex Luthor and the one like IT guy or whatever was like going up to him and be like, "Oh, I'll help you with it." He's like I'm motherfucking Mr. Terrific, and I was like, "God damn, I love this." I love that he has like the floating chair thing, and he hates the dog. I love that that's like his thing, where he's like, "Fine, I'll help you, Superman." He's so like, ugh, like he's like, "Fine, I'll help you." Oh, you brought the dog for fuck's sakes! Like he's so like, ugh. Guess I'll help save people. I'm so inconvenienced.
I think there's also a slight lag.
Oh,
This was also my introduction to the character Mr. Terrific. I know he was in various animated shows, but I somehow missed all of them. So I like that my introduction to this character is just this tired, incredibly capable man.
yeah. I love the really simple prosthetic over his face. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That could have looked so dumb if done wrong.
hmm I saw a few people at Comic Con, like they either like face painted, which is the easy way out, or like I don't know what they. I don't know if anyone. I think some people did kind of like a mask thingy, and then they painted the rest of the T or something. But again, I'm not gonna fault anyone on that. It's a very thin like silicone prosthetic, and I feel like even if I did it, it'd just be like, well, that's a mess. You know what I mean? Like even I'm like, well, that wasn't done properly. Yeah, like, and then yeah, in the end when like Supergirl shows up and he's like, "Where's my dog?" And she's just like a little drunk, like sorority bitch. I was like, okay, I kind of like where we're going with that because she's a little cunty, you know. And then like the dog is just being, you know, it's like, oh, that's where he learns his behavior from her because she allows it. Okay, and then I think like today or yesterday they dropped like a teaser trailer for Supergirl because it like
Ooh.
they show a little bit of Lobo. Lobo's remember they're doing Lobo as well.
Yes. Yes.
So the next thing is Predator Badlands. Did you see that? Did you see any like how many of the Predator
No, but
movies have you seen?
I really haven't seen the Predator movies. I've seen the original Alien movie,
Uh
the
huh.
first two.
Mm-hmm.
I really haven't seen the Predators uh POV. Well, this is the first one that focused directly on the Predator POV, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because everything
Right.
is just like everything else is like, hey, we're doing this. Ah, it's more like that. Oh, the fuck are these guys? Yeah. No, I really liked this one because like one you get to like I guess yeah, you get to hear and see them like talk and communicate, and then it's mainly in the language most of the movie. And then Elle Fanning is an android, so she's like half a body, and she like communicates with him because obviously she's an android. So she's like, "Hey, what's up? Oh yeah, you're the Yautja." And finally, I know how to pronounce that word. I've seen the word. I didn't realize it's called Yautja. I was like, "Oh, it's the you huge the predator thing." I just call it predator, you know. And but you know she says it a lot in the movie. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I know how to say it now. I did it, you know. How many of these movies have I seen? I've seen all of them. Still don't know how to say words, but yeah, it's like he kind of like crash lands on like this. I was about to say island. Crash lands on this planet, and it's just like I don't fucking know what's happening. And again, Elle Fanning's character, like I said, first she's just kind of like half an android, just like hanging on a tree. She's like, "Oh, you don't want to eat that? That's not." Oh, or she'll be like, "Oh yeah, be careful. There's this." Oh, you know, she's just like, finally like, you know, of course, it starts off as like, oh god, annoying possible comic relief character, kind of like I wouldn't do that if I was you. But she obviously comes in handy because she does help him. And then so a lot of the movie is just like him wearing her like a backpack and like carrying her. And then finally they get to a God, why did I Wayland, that's what it is. I was like, what the fuck is the alien company, Wayland thingy. And then like she gets put into like the booth thing and they you know put the rest of her android body together or whatever you want to call it. And so then she's like able to walk and she's like, okay, yeah, da da da, and she's like being really helpful towards him. And it's kind of like it's an interesting like perspective to see, and I'm glad they went that way because the previous movie Prey was so fucking good. You know what I mean? I was just like worried that they were just kind of like again just make another Predator movie. Like obviously the reason why Prey worked is this was back in the day, and it was all like indigenous people, indigenous actors. And I think there's a excuse me, there's a version of the movie where it literally is just all in that indigenous language. So like, because obviously when we watch it, it's in English, but they actually just did it all in that language, and so I'm like, that's fucking awesome. It's like that, and then like the French people, you know what I mean? They're like, hey, we're French. It's like, oh, we're in Canada, you know. Best documentary on Australia since Mad Max Fury Road, because the terrain of that planet is, you know, everything's big and wants to kill you. So yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really liked it. Okay. And then the last one in this category is Begonia. It's that the Emma Stone movie where she's bald. You know?
I've somehow have no idea what you're talking about.
So Amy Stone, where is it? There we go. So there's this movie, Emma Stone. She's bald because she plays like yes. I was like, did I say the right word? She plays like a you know a CEO and what you call it, someone who works for like the lower end like pretty much, let's just say she's Jeff Bezos to make more sense of it. So she's a high power person, and then someone, let's say in the distribution center, Jesse Plemons, he's like conspiracy theory brained and all that stuff. So him and his brother capture the CEO, Emma Stone, shave her head because they feel like, what was it, like her hair would send signals to her home planet and all that stuff, and they cover her in like, was it like antihistamine lotion or something? Because she's like, yeah, and also, you know how, like, Emma Stone eyes are really big? When she's shaved, she doesn't have hair, and it's just her head and her eyes. It's like, oh, I could totally see the alien thing. You know what I mean? Um,
Oh.
and it's pretty much like Jesse Plemons' character, obviously, just, he's fully not there. He's all, like, conspiracy brain. And just being like, okay, you have to contact your planet, or, like, you gotta stop this. And it's like, all this, like, what the fuck? You're in for the ride. You're in for the ride. You're like, I'm in it. Y'all shaved Emma Stone's head. Like, holy fuck, right? Because in the movie, her hair was like down to here. You know what I mean? You know? Um, and so at some point, like Emma Stone's character, because she is a smart lady, she's a CEO, she's like trying to like go with them, like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with your story. Yeah, I can contact my planet. You have to take me back to my office. It's in the office, So like they take her there, and obviously security's like, oh my god, are you okay? She's like, I'm fine. Like, she tries to pretty much like figure out a way to kind of like have everyone see that she's being held hostage in a sense, because she was gone. I think in the movie, like, she was gone for like 2 weeks or something, like just completely disappeared, and then she just shows up bald with these two dudes. Like, it gets like really crazy. They're like, oh, you're gonna contact your mothership or something, and this movie doesn't get like gory or anything. I would suggest definitely watch this. I don't want to spoil like the ending or anything, but it's weird, like the weird I like, it's just the
Yeah.
just the Pepe Silvaing of him explaining why she is part alien, and you're like, sure, and I got shave the head and all that stuff, and then the fact that I think his brother is like special needs or something, so he just kind of follows along with him. So his brother doesn't know. It's
Oh.
yeah, so it's like his brother doesn't know what he's doing is bad. He's just like, oh, my brother's helping me. So it's just like following like the story, and you're like, all right, you know what? And then the end gets like very weird, and I'm like, you know what? I'm already here. Sure, popcorn. You know what I mean? I'm like, so then the final category is, like I said, other slash bio. So we have the Phoenician scheme, one battle after another, train dreams, Latin blood, Ballad of Ney Matogrosso. Okay, I really just butcher that. It's Brazilian. Eileen, Queen of the Serial Killers, the third Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Man, and The Long Walk. What did, what have you heard
I
of?
actually haven't seen any of those yet. The Knives Out movie I'm definitely going to see, but just haven't had
Mm-hmm.
the not the chance. I just haven't yet.
Yeah. So the Phoenician Scheme is a Wes Anderson movie, and just like Wes Anderson movies, it's like it's visually pretty. This one, the story is not so bad. It's not as convoluted as he normally does it. Yes, he has a bunch of his
Oh.
like,
Oh.
so well known celebrity people in it, but normally how it's like, oh, we're gonna do that. I just find it so, the dialogue is all what always kind of takes me out of it, because there'll be like beautiful sets and all that stuff. The story doesn't make sense or whatever, which is fine because I could be in for the ride. But the dialogue a lot of times just sounds like they're all in a rush to go somewhere, but they could just be like sitting around a table having a meal. To be like, oh, I didn't go over there. What, you didn't go over there? Yeah, I didn't go. And it's kind of like dead too when they talk. It's always like, did you go? No, I didn't go over there. Why would you go over there? But why would I go over there? I don't know. You went over there, but we didn't go over there. And it's like that's how dialogue is in all of his movies. And then sometimes he'll they'll just throw in like curse words. So he's like, I didn't go there. Well, fuck you. You didn't go there. I didn't fucking go in it. And it's like it feels weird because like what was it? I think it was like a Grand Budapest Hotel or something. It was like beautiful and all that stuff. I guess maybe the way how it's played out kind of cutesy to a degree, because again, you've seen what Wes Anderson movies look like, so it kind of like appears like a family movie, and then someone goes, oh, I fucking don't know, and then you're like, what the hell? It's like, you don't fucking know? I don't fucking know. And you're like, okay. um this one I really enjoyed because one of the main people you get to see is Benicio del Toro and Riz Ahmed. So I was like, I like what I'm looking at, you know? So yeah.
Nice pairing. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Benicio del Toro, the next one is One Battle After Another. You know, the one with DiCaprio and all that stuff. That one I thought it was like I enjoyed that one a lot. A lot of people have been like comparing that with like Eddington because they both like are kind of political movies because Eddington takes place like the summer of 2020, you know, and then One Battle After Another is about like revolution, all that stuff. And I made the joke saying that Eddington is the people I yelled at in the summer of 2020, and One Battle After Another is what people think I am. Because there's a really funny scene.
Okay.
There's a really funny scene where because DiCaprio is supposed to be like that this like leader of this like you know movement, right? He kind of dropped off after a while, you know, kind of keeping things low and whatever stuff, and then he's trying to like find, you know, like find like this I think rendezvous point or something. So he calls this number, you know, and it's all like fucking. He's like, "It's a nice day if it doesn't rain." He's like, "Yeah, of course it's a nice day if it doesn't rain." And the guy on the other end is like, "Well, what if the sun shines?" And DiCaprio's like, "I don't know what the next part is, man. Where do I go?" And the guy goes, "I can't tell you." And he's like, "Fuck." He's like, he's like mad because he's like, "Okay, stop with this covert shit. I don't, come on. I'm so and so. Come on." You know, he finds Benicio del Toro. I feel like Benicio del Toro makes the movie. I think, oh, I think he's nominated. Fuck, he might end up winning. Shit. Which is fine. People of color. Remember I said, people of color gotta win. I'm not mad. But he does such a great job. Like his character is great. His character like runs like a karate studio or something like that. So the entire time he's wearing like gi pants. So it's all like revolution, fight the guns, gi pants, and it's so good. He's so good. God, I love Benicio del Toro. And so so like DiCaprio meets up with Benicio del Toro, and he's like, all right, you know, like he's like, all right, come with me. Yeah, I know you, I know you. And I do love a lot of the movie has like Spanish in it, but they don't subtitle it. I kind of like that, you know, where like they're all speaking Spanish, and it's kind of like, no, you don't need to know what's being said. Vibe with it. You could kind of figure out what's being said. You know what I mean? Just just by the vibe of it, the tone, what you know, obviously what the movie is showing you. It's like I love that because you know like because it's like you don't need a translator. It's like the Bad Bunny thing. You're like the music's great, vibe with it, you know, just vibe with it. So it was really great. um like I said, I enjoyed it. It's just there's a part where like DiCaprio finally gets to the rendezvous thing, and he's talking to the guy who was on the phone. He's like, come on, man. And they were like, yeah, this is the guy. And then the guy like with the headset with the phone, he goes, well, anyone could have called in and said it was you. Like, and it's like the whole thing where it's like me always yelling at leftists. Like, how many times I'm always like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, shut the fuck up! Like, are you gonna do something or gonna be at home being like, well, your tone was very da da da, and I can't have cornflakes, so I can't boycott, and it's like, ah! You know? It's like, and this is why we're at right now, you know. So you see why it's like what people think I am, and to a degree, yes, and to other degree, it's like
What
okay.
you really are.
I know. I literally was like, this is totally me. I watched it. I was like, oh, it's totally me. Next movie is called Train. I think it's called Train Dreams, and it's Train Dreams, and it kind of is about trains, but not like that way. So it's about like God, what time? I was about to say what time of the year. What time, you know, time period is it? It's pretty much like this. The main character is a logger. I was about to say he does deforestation. This is before it was deforestation. This is just surviving. You're just cutting down trees so you can have a home. So he's in the logging business. You know, he's just like hoo 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 hoo. You know, cutting that stuff down. That's what he does for a living. You know, goes back. You know, wife in the farm type of thing. You know, and then slowly but surely, there's not a lot of work, so he has to like leave home and hop on a train and you know kind of go and like and it's it's a movie that you just sit back, you watch it, and you vibe with it. You just see this guy's life, where he goes from just being like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to like, help my family and all that stuff, and it's like, oh, there's no work here. I was really close to home, now I gotta go further. Oh fuck, now I gotta go further. Like, he's further away from his home, and he's just cutting down trees and just trying to like make do. And it's shot beautifully, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I was like, all right, you know what, movie, yeah, it's like kind of like back in the simple times, but yeah, I don't know how else to describe it, because literally the movie is like, you put it on and you vibe. Oh, so then this next one is Latin Blood, the story of, the Ballad of Name. I'm not gonna butcher that name again. So this is about a very famous Brazilian artist. I had no idea about it. I just saw someone on Tumblr post, like, just like a little thing of it, and I just saw like something that's obviously very queer, and I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I looked it up. I was like, oh, it's on Netflix. Sure, I'll watch it. And it's about it. So it's like his biopic, and it's like very interesting because, again, I have no idea who this guy is. No idea. Never heard of him. But just watching his life story. So it starts out obviously when he's a kid. Da da da. He was obviously very, very, even, as a kid, very. And so,
Mm.
the dad is like an officer in the army or something, like a very military dad. So of course he's not gonna want to have his son. Exactly. He doesn't want his son to be a little. So I think as a teenager or something, the son was like, "Fuck you, I'm leaving home." Well, there's not many places he can go. He ends up joining the military, and like I think like his fellow officers or whatever like had said to the dad like, he's one of my best soldiers, because he's like, oh, he's very disciplined, da da da, and of course he's like, oh, my son, da da da, and it's like, well, yeah, I bet I bet he is. So you see that, you see him a little bit older, and he like gets into music, because he's and then he gets into music, but again, he's a little gay, and he's a little gay girl. Like, it's like saying that Trixie and Katy are a little gay. Like, he is.
I was about to say he is Tracy Martell.
Yeah, he is literally the oh honey, you don't know honey, oh honey. He is literally that kind of gay, but I love it. And so he's getting into music. He also sings in a very like higher voice than mostly you would hear men. I'll play you a clip in a bit. It's very beautiful too, and he like sings up here, kind of not like falsetto, but like high. Like, usually men are like here when they're singing, but he's like kind of up here. Again, when I'll play you the clip, you'll know. Um, and so and this is like 60s, 70s, so he's like already very outlandish. Face paint, like feathers in the hair, doing all this like movement type of stuff, Oh, beautiful, and the music is very like, oh, kind of like folky, but it's like, again, it's very beautiful, and like, because he's so weird, and people are like, I don't know if I'm about this, but people are like, no, I fucks with this. God bless Brazil, they fucks with it. He's actually, like I said, this guy's a big fucking star. No idea, right? No idea, but I'm a fan, I'm a fan now. And so whatchamacallit, like, it kind of skips a bit of his life where, the band, moves on and everything goes good, da, 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 all that stuff, his success and all that shit, and then at one point in the movie, it shows, it's the actual, so this artist is still alive, so it fast forwards to him putting on his like Elton John shit, you know what I mean, getting on stage and performing, and it got to that part, and I was like, oh my god, I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, you did it! Like, of course you did! Because, like, I actually paused it and I, like, Wikipedia'd him. And I'm like, bro, it's fuck famous! What the hell? Dude, it's like Elvis, And so it was, like, awesome. Like, he's still performing to this day. I'm like, that's so crazy. So when I looked him up, he did, like Brazil NPR Tiny Desk. You know what I mean? And so he's, like, singing it. And he's like, I gotta show you this. It's so great. And then, there's like his televised performance that he did back in the day when he like first showed up with like the face paint and all that stuff. With the way how they recreated that in the movie, it's practically 1-to-1. It's so good. And then the actor they got to play him really like the way how they like did his hair and all that stuff really looks like him when he was younger. Because again, I'm just watching this. I know nothing of this guy. I just know it's like it was just a queer thing. I just knew it was like, okay, it's something like, probably Hispanic. I thought it was Spanish. I didn't know it was Brazilian, Portuguese. But I was like, okay. I was like, cool, queer thing. And then I was like, oh, it's Netflix. Cool. I'll watch it. It came out this year. I was like, whatever. I thought it was just like being queer and Latino. I thought it was like something like that. I had no idea it was about like an actual real person. I didn't know it was his biopic. I didn't know you could see the real dude at the end. Like I said, and I like was like YouTubing his music and all that stuff, and I was like, yo, like holy shit. Then the next is Eileen, Queen of Serial Killers, which is Eileen Wuornos, the very famous lady serial killer. And this is like a more, I guess you would say, the most recent, updated, I guess you would say, documentary on her. I mean, like, she was put to death, like, early 2000s or something like that. And it's like, do you remember the movie Monster? The one where Charlize Theron, like, did not look like herself? Because
I remember I didn't watch it, but I know of it, and I saw all the shots of her just not looking as glamorous as she always
right.
naturally is.
I mean, they did a
Yeah.
great job because, like, obviously, it's hard to make Charlize Theron not beautiful. You know what I mean? And like the way how they made her look, like, well, one they had to put like darker lenses in her, and then they like really stippled her skin to be like how Eileen is. I think she gained some weight too to obviously not be so, Hollywood. I remember I watched that movie years ago. I need to rewatch it, but like, there's a lot of like I guess we say controversy or contention or something about Eileen because a lot of people are like, yeah, she killed a lot of men, but it's also like she a lot of it is seen as self defense because she was doing sex work and all that stuff. So it's a lot of this like like I don't
Right,
condone
yeah.
like I don't condone her just killing these guys. But I also get why, because then people are also like, well, she's confessed and said I was happy I killed them. I'm like, I also understand that because if they're coming after you and you know what I mean? And also like the prosecutor obviously didn't give a fuck about her because one, she's a woman, two, she's well, she had like she was in a lesbian relationship, you know what I mean? So why would you give a fuck about that? And two, she was a sex worker, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like this whole thing of like, and then also she came from nothing. It's like her life story wasn't obviously the best, so it led into this whole thing. And it's very much like and again, I'm not condoning what she did or being like, yeah, but also I get it, girl, I get it because in this documentary it also like recounted. It had more like trial footage and stuff than I've seen in other ones, where she like went through like each of the men that she ended up killing and what they did to her. Like, pretty much like it wasn't just like, oh yeah, it's a John, da da da, but it's like, oh yeah, this guy was like, I'll pay for sex, and then like proceeds to like rape her and like beat her up, and it's like life of a sex worker kind of stuff. And she's like, well, I fought back, and then they're like, you disgusting whore. And again, it's like, I can't fully be like, you horrible person, because I'm like, girl, like the world was not kind to you, and I get that you said, all right, fucks you too, um was it like the top thing in Letterboxd is someone saying serial killer, and it's a woman defending herself, and another one said, um 58 seconds in and I'm already mad because the guy in the beginning has pissed me off. She deserved much better, because when you start the documentary, I forgot who it is, but someone in, I think, the prosecution team or a cop or something was like, well, she wasn't a looker. And it's like, you know what I mean? And it's like, Again, I'm not saying I condone, but I get it, girl. I get, you know what I mean? Like, another one
Yeah.
says, well, another review says, why do men hate women so much? Because it was very much, it was like, it was that, like, she was defending herself, and then, yeah, this other one is in all caps, says decriminalize sex work, of course, you know? And it's literally that. It's like, I get it. You know, you should not murder. Murder is bad. We have to say that 1,000 times. Murder is bad. You should not murder. Murder is bad. Bitch. Like, oh my
But
god.
also
Yeah. Yeah.
don't deserve to be murdered?
Yeah, because it's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, because then it was like, there was like this, like, religious lady. I didn't know about this part where, like, a religious lady adopted her while she was 35 years old. I was like, adopting an adult like that? And I guess because
What?
like the religious lady, like, you know, saw that she was down and out and wanted to help her, you know, being a good Christian, and then I guess like probably adopting her, be like, oh, we can help her and give her money and, you know, whatever, healthcare, I guess, you know, kind of stuff. I understand that the woman was trying to do it for good, but it just comes off weird to be adopting a 35-year-old adult. I think she was just trying to do good Christian things, but it still comes off very weird. Um, and then, you know, she like felt love for once, and you're like, oh, good for you, Eileen. But forgetting what you're watching and what happens, you're like, oh, that's good. Oh wait, you know, like, oh wait, shit, fuck, you know. And then yeah, she goes out, and you know all that stuff happens, and you're just like, I'm sorry, you deserve better. Because, you know, when you watch things where it's like dude serial killers, it was just kind of, it's always just like, yeah, I just did it because I could. And it's like, oh God. Oh
And then
God.
they weirdly have so many fans.
He's so hot. He didn't do anything wrong. And you're like, okay. But if you go, I get why she did it, they're like, so you want all men to die? So then the next one is the Knives Out movie. It's a Knives Out movie. It's fun. I enjoyed it. Glenn Close is in
Yeah.
it. Glenn Close plays a
Mhm.
nun, which is great because Glenn Close is a nun, for fuck's sakes. So like I guess synopsis without giving really much away is the main character is this priest guy. He's an ex-boxer. You know, he took up the priesthood and all that stuff. And then like, you know, like a Knives Out movie, a moida happens and they got to figure out what did the moida. And then, you know, freaking uh Daniel Craig is there being Foghorn Leghorn as always. He's like, I said so, you know, oh, blah, 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 blah. This accent's ridiculous, but we are all for this accent. Um, it's just, this is not a spoiler, but there's one part where, like, someone drew, like, dicks on things, and Glenn Close's character is like, what are all these rocket ships for? I, and the priest guy, you know, Mr. X Boxer, is like he's like, you know, I'm not gonna say, you know, never, I'm not gonna say anything. Never mind. It was just like, it's so stupid. It was just like, oh my god. But yeah, it was like I said, I enjoyed it. It was fun, just like any other Knives Out movie, you know. Especially, you know, when it gets to the part like, you know, when like, especially now it's the third one, you're like, okay, how is it done? Well, I'm gonna try. I can figure it out. I can totally figure it out. And then when they explained it, you're like, okay, I didn't really figure it. I don't know. I don't know. So the last one is
Okay.
The Long Walk, the Stephen King story written with his other handle, um, about a very long walk. Have you ever heard the story, The Long Walk?
I think I've heard. No, I have not. I've only heard of A Walk to Remember, which is why I was a little confused in my
The
head.
Mandy Moore movie? I'm a terminally ill girl who's very weird and quirky with a religious father. Yes, I have that
I
on
don't
my
know, maybe there
best
was
of
a remake
list.
and it was good? Like, I don't know.
Right, right. Came in and then beat you bombers. Came in. Woo, 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 woo.
That or it's a long walk because he's just walking there with his terminally ill girlfriend. He's like, I wonder if she'll drop soon. Well, let's keep going.
Oh my god, right? Anyway, yeah, the long walk. So it's kind of like, I guess you would say, like battle royale Hunger Games s kind of thing, where like one kid from every state meets up and they gotta just walk as long as they can. I think, what was it, they have to keep at least a minimum of 3 miles per hour while they're walking, and if they stop walking they get warnings. They'll be like, hey, you gotta keep moving, and then if not, they you know so like the movie is just a bunch of like teenage boys just walking, and like um and it's like the main two character is the did you see Alien Romulus?
You know I didn't.
Okay. Anyway, so it's the android from Alien Romulus, and then literally Philip Seymour Hoffman's son. And there's a couple of shots where he literally looks like his dad. Like, he would have like a baseball cap, and you just see like this much of his face. And I was like, ah! It was be kind of creepy. I'm like, ah, he's alive. It's they're the two main characters. They kind of become friends on this walk, and then they walk. And so the cast of boys, they're very diverse. They're all different types of ethnicities, all that stuff, and they all kind of slowly, you know for reasons. And it's like crazy because like one, like, I think there was like a letterbox review that was like, it was like, yeah, I'd be the one who died because I had to take a shit, because the dude was like, well, because you can't stop to take a poop because you have to keep walking. So the dude was like, I'll be quick. He pulled his pants out. He's like, and they're like, keep moving. And he's like, no, I can't. They're like, warning. He's like, because he had to take a poop.
You gotta hop with it, man.
Yeah, I think some other dude was kind of like like duck walking. It gets very like gross with that, but it's also like, at least they put that in, because like when it's like stuff where you're watching The Walking Dead and you're like, do any of these women get their period? You know what I mean? You're like,
Yes.
very manicured eyebrows you have there. Oh, you're wearing a sleeveless shirt? None of that's happening. Interesting. Whatchamacallit, like, yeah, so at least they have that, like, and so, yeah, as you see, like, as they go further on, like, like, a boy, gets either killed or he dies because he's just walking for days on end, and it's just like, drops dead. Or again, they stop, or they say, fuck it, I don't care, shoot me, they lose it. And then you get to like, there's one scene that like I was like, oh god. Like, it's close towards, so they're initially walking like in the middle of nowhere because it's just a long road, and then you end up kind of in like city limits and all that stuff. And when they end up in city limits, the main character, Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, his character sees his mom, and you've got enough time to think about your life. He sees his mom, and he goes, I'm so sorry, da da da. And like, he's walking up to the mom, and she's like, keep walking, what are you doing, keep walking. And he's like, no mom, I'm sorry. And the black dude, the android dude, is like, come on dude, we gotta keep walking. And he's like, I'm sorry mom. And she's like, I know, I don't care, just keep walking. And it's like this panic thing, and I'm watching it like, oh god, you're so close. Like, even it had me, I was like, no. It's like, apologize to her when you were alive. Just keep going, Because by then, you see so many people die from the stupidest things, like I said, because he had a poop, just like, oh, I had to stop to tie my shoe type of shit, you know what I mean? Or like, oh, my feet hurt, so I took my shoes off, so I'm walking without shoes, and then my feet, it gets crazy. And then it gets towards the end of the story, and you're like, like, that's the best way of putting it. A single tear did roll down my face. I'm being serious. I did go like, oh, like, I was already like holding it together with the mom scene, but like the ending, I was just like, oh god. And as I thought, oh god, I literally felt the bloop, and I was like I caught myself like, oh fuck. I was like, oh shit. Like, real, I was like, God, all right, well, I gotta give it an extra star. I cried, you got it out of me, movie, like,
So if this was like a walk to remember, but everyone has cancer.
Stop! Sure, sure. Why not? Why not? Why not? When do they put on the school play? When do they put on the school play and he kisses her?
Well,
How
we
do
gotta
I
keep
know the
talking,
plot?
so you know.
Why do I remember that plot? Like as I'm saying it, I'm like, why do I remember that movie? It's so awful. Fuck. Half of these movies, I'm always like, wait, what is it about? That I remember. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, because I remember a lot of people, they were talking about how like, oh, this movie would be hard to adapt, which I understand because it's just characters walking day and night. Like, how do you make it like interesting and dynamic? You know what I mean? How do you make the characters more interesting and dynamic? I understand when you're reading it, it's different, obviously, than what's on screen. And I remember initially I wasn't gonna watch it because they were advertising the shit out of it, like YouTube ads, Instagram ads. You know, I was just like everywhere. I kept seeing ads for it. I'm like, I don't care. Fuck off. You know, I'm like, oh, it's a movie about walking. I don't give a shit. You know, like everyone says, Lord of the Rings is the walking movie. This is the walking movie. Like I was feeling like that. But then it's like a bunch of people I follow on Tumblr were like, no, this movie's actually pretty good. And I was like, okay, I kind of trust your opinions because we all kind of, the people I follow, we have like similar tastes in things. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll give this a shot. And then I was like, there it is. You know, yeah.
Mm.
One of the military guys that kind of calls the shots. It's played by Mark Hamill. So that was random.
Oh.
That was random.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't bad, but it was
Sure.
just like okay, yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of makes
Okay.
sense to put in a way a familiar face because these most of the boys are unknowns. Like I said, you just know him as Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, and the other dude's like, oh, I remember him as the android from Alien Romulus, and everyone else is like, there's some people, you know. Um, so yeah, that one I enjoyed a lot.